What's going on, y'all? It's your girl. And I come back with a review. Like I said, the number 8, episode 8, season 2, If Loving You Was Wrong. It's called The Debt. And the first thing we're going to come out with, Lucius coming out the room. You know, I guess he finished taking his little shower. And he going to the refrigerator. Here come Joey in the house. And he pushes him, you know, in his chest when he come around and talking about what the hell is wrong with you. He was like, man, what are you talking about? Don't just roll up in my face like that. Say what you got to say. Don't be just rolling up in my face, my dude, because it can be on. You know what I mean? It can be on. So he was like, you a dirty ass cop or whatever, talking about he done took Quan's money and dope. Here come Natalie trying to defuse the situation, getting in between them, talking about Joy, you know he wouldn't do that. You know he wouldn't do that. Talking about you got his back, don't he? You got his back, don't you? She was like, I know him. Of course you know him. You got a baby by him. You know what I mean? Yeah, you supposed to say, yes, I got his back. I know he wouldn't do nothing like that. And you wrong for not coming up here and asking instead of just wanting to jump hard like you just did. And he said, why would he say it? And she was like, I don't know, because he is a gangster. He is a liar. You know, he's just saying that to try to just get up under your skin. And so he was like, ask Lucius, did he do it? And Lucius was like, he didn't take it. So he asked him, you know, he was like, I'm not going to ask him because he going to lie. So she was like, he didn't do it or whatever. He was like, if you didn't do it, then who did it? I mean, who else could have done it? Who else was with Lucius? I mean, come on now. Self-explanatory right there. So he was like, Lucius was telling Joey, let him take care of it. He was like, man, he's not gonna listen. You can't just talk to him. This is a gangster. He gonna come out. He's coming after me. He was like, he's not gonna bother. He said, yes, he is. He's coming after me right now. He was like, he's not gonna bother. He said, if he don't bother me, he gonna pay somebody who can. I mean, that's what we're gonna do, right? And now we back to Alex and Marcy. Marcy comes out the house and she looks next door. You know, she's thinking, should I go over there or should I go on to work? Should I go over there or should I go on to work? So she goes on over there and knocks on the door. So Alex opens the door and she was just looked there like shocked, like, girl, what is you doing up in here? And so she said, what can I do for you? So Marcy said, what can I do for you? Oh, what can I do for you? She was like, yeah. So she said, well, you could have started by not slept with my husband or lied to me or, you know, being a fake ass friend like you was. So she says, you know what I mean, if you got something to say, let's get it off her chest. You know what I mean? She was like, why did you pretend to be my friend and lie to me and then, you know, come for me when I thought Randall was, you know, doing something else and you told me that he wasn't. She was like, he wasn't doing nothing else. He was thinking he loves you. He was thinking about you. She was like, how can you say that? Marcy asked Alex, how can you say that? Homegirl was like, because she was being honest. She was like, oh, so you an honest hoe? Well, whore. I say hoe. And then Alex is like, okay, get it off your chest. Say what you got to say to me. I'm sorry. I was a bad person. I'm sorry I deceived you. I shouldn't have did this. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. I'm paying for it every day. And then Marcy was like, girl, fuck that or whatever you talking about. She was like, how far along are you? She was like, what? How far along are you? She said she's 7.5 months. She was like basically asking her, are you healthy? You know what I mean? Do you got any diseases? You got some HPV, HIV, you know, chlamydia, gonorrhea. Do you got any of that, honey? She was like, no, I'm clean or whatever. So she was like, how do you know whose baby it is? She said, you was with my husband without a condom, right? So homegirl was like, yeah. And she was like, she knows it's not Randall's baby. She was like, well, how do you know? So she told her that, you know, she kept up with the dates or whatever. She said, oh, so you one of those. You kept a calendar of when you was bouncing from my husband's bed back to your own husband's bed. That must take talent. I don't even know why Marcy trying to jump all hard and stuff. Like, she wasn't even hard in the beginning. And all the signs was there, homie. It was in your face, girl. I mean, you could have caught them so many times. Basically, you did catch them, but I don't know what you was thinking. Your eyes wasn't focusing right on the situation. Okay, and what else? And then she was like, what else do you want me to do? This is what Alex is asking Marcy. What do you want me to do? Marcy was like, she would like to take her and drag her ass out in the middle of the street and beat her ass. She didn't say it like I said it, but she said she would beat her ass. You know, she said she would like take her out in the street and beat her ass. You know what I mean? And then she said she will forever hate her because she is in her husband's heart. Her husband loves her, and she will always hate homegirl for that. So that was the end of that. Okay, now we got Lucian and Natalie, you know, in the room, and they talking, and Lucian is telling her that he's gonna go and talk to Quan about the situation or whatever, and Natalie gonna tell him, no, you not, or whatever. He said, yes, I am. She said, no, you're not, Lucian, or whatever. She said she's worried about Quan because why would that boy tell Joey a lie like that? And so Lucian was like, he didn't lie. She was like, what? He said he didn't lie, but he didn't tell the whole truth. You see what I'm saying? She was like, what are you talking about? Tell me you didn't take that boy money. He said, no, I didn't take that money. You knew I wouldn't take that money or whatever. So Lucian, so Natalie trying to figure out, well, who took the money? Who else? I mean, duh. Who else? Eddie. So she said Eddie took that boy's money and drugs and stuff like that, and gonna drag you into it, gonna get you all involved in this type of stuff or whatever. She was like, so he robbing drug dealers now? He robbing drug dealers now? And he was like, you know, Lucian really can't get a word in edgewise. He trying to tell her, look, I'm going to handle the situation. Look, I will deal with it. She keeps saying, no, you won't. And she wants him to quit. She don't want him on the force no more. She want him to quit. And he was like, he's not going to do that. He don't work too hard. He done did all this stuff. And, you know, it's his turn now. He finally got where he want to be. And he's not going to quit because of some fool. And she's just telling him, well, you're going to die right beside him then. And he was like, okay. And he's steady asking, what do you want me to do? And she keeps telling him to quit. And he like, no, he's not going to do that. That is not an option for him to do that. He's not going to do it. And she's down, yeah. My bad. And he said he's not going to do that. He's not going to let one bad person, you know, make him teeter off what, you know, he's been working for so long. It's been a long ride. He's not going to do it. And she can't really understand that because she's so scared. She don't want her boo thing to get, you know, get hurt. Plus her kids. She got kids up in there. And her, you know, her big son, Joey. She don't want nothing to happen to that. And he's like, he's not quitting. He's going to handle the situation. He going to make sure ain't nothing going to happen to them. Now we're at Esperanza's house, and Miguel, the lawyer, you know, Randall's lawyer, is knocking on her door. So she looks at the door, and she was like, who is it? He said, it's Miguel, you know what I mean? She was like, what do you want? He said he just want to talk to her for a minute. So she opened up the door, and she tells him, I ain't got nothing to tell you. I don't know nothing about it. So he, you know, says her baby daddy name, Edward Willis or whatever. And you know I'm representing Randall, whatever his last name is, in the case against him. And she was like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got nothing to tell you. Basically, I don't even know why you came over here. And then he gonna ask, can he come in? She was like, no, man. I ain't got nothing to tell you. So, she said she got to get to work. So he said, he gonna go leave. Went out to the car. Try to start the car up. The car won't even start, y'all. And this looked like a nice ass car. Look like what, a BMW or something like that, and the car won't start. So she's in her car, she's ready to go, and he's steady trying to start up his car and leave, and then she leans out the window talking about go. He was like, the car won't start. And she was like, I ain't got time to be playing with you. Why you over here playing or whatever? So she tells homeboy to get up out the car, so she try to start the car. The car don't even start, so he's like, he'll call a tow truck or whatever. I don't know what she thought she was gonna do, but she looking around in the car while she's trying to start the car like, what are you doing, living in your car? He was like, no, I got kids, you know what I mean? She said, well, your kids need to clean this mud because it's nasty. And he was like, okay, well, I'm about to just, you know, call a tow truck. And she was like, yes, please do. Okay, we're at the station, gal. And you already know, Lucius is mad. So Lucius walks in, and Eddie is, you know, putting on his uniform, getting it all ready or whatever. And so Eddie was like, what's up? So next thing you know, Lucius busts out talking about, remember that kid you took that coke off from last week? You know, you took the money and coke from last week. And he was like, hey, man, what? He was like, remember that kid you took the coke and the money off from last week? He's like, man, keep your voice down. Then here comes out the bathroom and investigator, because you know they watching Eddie. He was like, what are you talking about? Who is doing what? He was like, nothing, man. He was like, well, if somebody's committing a crime, then I need to know about it. And Eddie was like, man, he's just playing. There ain't nothing to see here, man. We just talking. So he was like, everything okay, Lucius? Lucius was like, never better. So he gone. He was like, can you leave us alone so we can talk? So the investigator leaves out of there, and Lucius begins to keep on asking him, you remember the kid that you took the coke and the weed from? I mean, coke and the money from last week. He was like, yeah. He was like, well, now he's after Natalie's son and talking about that he gets to pay him back, or you know, he gonna do something to somebody. And Natalie and Joy is worried about it. He was like, well, you know how Eddie is with his little smug attitude. He don't really care. He was like, well, that's not good. So he, you know, Lucius is mad. He hems up Eddie up on the lockers or whatever and tell him, man, look, I ain't got time for no games. We're going to go to this bank and you're going to get this man his money back. And Eddie is, you know, laughing at him, talking about, ooh, look at that dragon. Yeah, I like that dragon. I want that dragon. Ooh, yeah. So he thought he was playing. So he had to hem him up again. One more again. You know what I mean? He was like, man, I'm not playing with you. He was like, what makes you think if we get this man his money back that ain't nothing going to happen? He was like, it's going to backfire. And once he don't take it, you going to give me my money back. And Lucius is like, okay. So he's still pissed off, so he hit him up again. One more time. Just so he'll know, you know, I'm not playing with you. I'll whoop your ass right now. He went then, you know, Eddie, he always thinks something is funny. And he was like, ooh, I like that dragon. Ooh, where that be? And that's been hiding you. I've been waiting for that to come out. Ooh, give me that dragon. Give me that dragon. I mean, basically, he sounded like some old sexual type shit to me. And he was like, man, it ain't gonna work. Now we got Brad. He's at the house. He's getting dressed, right? And they show Randall outside, you know, going to the mailbox. So he's looking over at Brad and them's house, you know what I mean? Because he's so in love with Alex, yeah. He's looking over there. I don't know what he mesmerizing for, because Brad comes and now he's looking out the window. He sees Randall looking over his house like, what the hell he looking at? So next thing you know, it shows Alex coming out the house going to the mailbox, and you know, Randall is staring her down like, you know what I mean, he just can't believe it. He love her. He just want to touch her, want to be with her and all this other stuff. You can just know that's what's going on in his mind. Like she's just everything in a box of chocolates, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, here come Brad out the house. Now Randall got to make it look like he wasn't looking over there, and he looking so obvious, y'all. I mean, so obvious. And Alex started walking to the house. She see him looking, but she tried not to look, but you could tell that she was looking. But she went on back in the house because she seen Brad coming along, and Brad is looking at him like, what you looking at, my dude? And Randall trying to look like he ain't looking. Boy, if you don't get up out of here, ain't nothing even between y'all to even show that you not looking. And your head steady turn. So Brad, you know, looks at him a little bit, get in his car and ride away. So Randall goes on up to his house and go on. He watched Brad roll away. He go in the house for like 10, 15 seconds and he wait. So then after Brad is gone, he come on back out. Yeah, why this fool go next door and knock on the door? Soon as Brad leave, this fool come outside, go next door, because you know his Pepper is next door. So he knock on the door and she look out the door talking about, look outside and said, boy, what did you doing? Is you crazy? He was like, yeah, I think I'm going crazy because, you know what I mean, because of you. So she tells him to leave, and he was like, no, I'm not leaving. It's been months now since I talked to you. She said, I know, Randall, that was on purpose. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to come over. I'm going to call you on the phone when I get to the crib. And if you don't answer that phone, I'm going to come back over here. And I don't even care if your boo thing is here or not. She was like, boy, is you crazy? He was like, yeah, I don't care if he here or not. So you better answer that phone. Now, I mean, that's the way we're going to communicate. Answer the phone. If you don't, see what's going to happen. So he goes home. I mean, soon as he goes home, he calls her on the phone. She answers. He was like, that's my Pepper. She said, don't you ever call me that. Girl, if you don't stop acting like you don't know. And so he asked her, how's he treating you? She was like, why is that any concern of yours? He said, because I love you. Basically, girl, you know he loves you, and you know you love him too. And she was like, I only want to see you or speak to you again. Don't call me no more. I'm not playing. You know what I mean? He was like, you don't mean that. You know, he looking all distraught and everything, like he ain't never heard it before or heard somebody tell him that. So, you know, after all that, she hang up the phone. Then she starts to thinking, okay, she just had a conversation with Marcy, and okay, I'm gonna call him back. She calls him back, and she says, why would you tell Marcy this is your baby? He was like, she said something I didn't like, so I had to tell her something. She was like, okay. He said to Alex, do you want me to tell you what she said? She was like, no. He said what I'm gonna tell you anyway. She said she slept with Brad. So Alex was like, what? He was like, yeah. She said they slept together. She was like, well, how do you know that? Because she said it. She's lying. She just said that to get up under your skin. No, that's what she said. So basically he's saying that's what she said, so it got to be the truth because my wife don't lie. I'm the liar, she's not. But Alex gonna say out of her mouth that, you know what I mean, you a liar, she a liar, y'all both liars, so it's not true or whatever. And she was like, this is not your baby. He was like, I know, or whatever, which really he don't know. He going by what she said, and that baby gonna come out with some skin as brown as mine, boo. So she said, don't ever call me again. I don't want to ever hear from you. Don't look for me. Don't come for me. Whatever. Don't call me. And hangs up the phone. And that was the end of that scene. So this next scene, we got Julius and we got Quan, you know, talking in the street. And Julius rolls up. He gets out the car. And Quan, he was like, well, yo, what's going on? Where the old man at? He was like, you know, he's not feeling that good. So, he tells him, you know, he's in charge now. And so he asked him, what kind of man are you? He was like, you know what I mean, you owe me 15 grand or whatever, and you in the hole. What kind of man are you, you know, to get the dope, sell the dope, and not pay me my money? So he was like, you know what I mean, chatting up. He was like, you know, he said, man, somebody told me that you got beat up or whatever, and somebody took the money from you. He was like, nah, man, that ain't what happened. He was like, I'm going through something, and I just need some time to get it back. He was like, man, you ain't got no time. He was like, man, a crooked cop took it off of me or whatever. And he was like, he just needs, you know, a few days or whatever to get the money and stuff back. He was like, you ain't got no time. He's like, okay, I'm not my daddy. And what you gonna need to do is run me my money right now or something gonna happen to you. He said, my daddy done got soft. I'm not him. When you owe me the money, you gonna pay me the money. If you don't, then something gonna happen to you. He was like, I'm sorry for this. He's like, and Quan was like, what? Sorry for what? He was like, kill him. So the goons hem him up and start, you know, about to rough him up, about to kill homeboy. Homeboy get the hollering and stuff like that, talking about Julius, what are you doing, man? I would have had your money if it weren't for that crooked cop Eddie that took it from me. He was like, hold up. Julius stopped everything. He put him down. He was like, what do you mean, crooked cop? What do he look like? Explain him to me. Tell me what he looked like and stuff. So he told him, he white boy, you know, clean cut, crazy in the eyes or whatever. So he knows it's the same dude that shot him, that him and Esperanza was fighting. He was fighting over for Esperanza. You know. So he was like, dude, I think you just saved your life. And he was like, you know what? Keep that money. Don't even worry about it. I got something I want you to do. He was like, what? Kill him. He was like, man, kill who? Eddie. He was like, man, that's a cop. I'm not killing no cop. He was like, man, you either gonna kill that cop or I'm gonna kill you. He said, either you kill him. He was like, I'm gonna need some time. This is what Quan says. I'm gonna need some time. He was like, how much time? I'm gonna need a month. He was like, dude, you out your damn mind. You owe me the money right now. I'm not giving you no money. A month? Ain't nobody gonna trust you in no whole month, my dude. You gonna be out the country somewhere, laid up. So he's like, man, you got to the end of the day. Either he's dead today or you will be dead tomorrow. Back at Esperanza's house, her and Miguel go in the house. And she told homeboy, the only reason why you in my house because it's hot as hell outside. So he gets to try to start up a conversation. He's talking all this stuff about Eddie and want to ask questions and stuff. She was like, I ain't got nothing to say to you. So while it's hot outside, before you get your ass back out of my house, be quiet. You not getting no information from me. I ain't got nothing to do with that, boo. Okay? So he gonna say, you a beautiful woman. Can I take you out for drinks and stuff like that? She was like, no. Because all you want to do is talk and get information about Eddie. And I ain't got nothing to do with that. So, after a while, his phone ring. You know, sitting there, Esperanza pleading her case that she ain't gonna say nothing about her baby daddy to him. His phone rings, and she looks over. She knows it's hell anyway, and it says Honey is calling. So he answered the phone. She was like, oh, Honey's calling. You know what she thought. She thought it was a chick. She thought it was his wife, his girlfriend, somebody, his boo thing, whoever he rolling around with. But boo, it wasn't. It was his baby girl, because she just got a new turtle, and she wanted to know what to do with the little turtle. Do you hear me? So after that, you know what I mean, he's steady trying to ask her, can he take her out, and, you know, tries to give her his car. And she was like, no, thank you. You know, she just going to keep it professional, one-on-one. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to be nothing else. So, you know, the tow truck comes, finally, and they go outside, and she going to ask the tow trucker, how fast can you get the car out of here? Girl, do you know that you could have whipped that car and got your car up out of there instead of waiting? I mean, his car was not that close, and your car was not that close to the garage, that you couldn't inch your way up out of there and roll out from the grass, and then let him outside and let him sit in the shade and wait on the tow truck driver. Okay, if it was all that, boo, you wasn't gonna be that doggone late for work. So the tow truck driver said he can have the tow truck out of here. She was like, yes, thank you. Okay, we got Eddie and Lucius in the cop car, and Eddie is sitting up there telling Lucius about the last person that tried to tell on him, or, you know, file a complaint, or whatever they gonna do. So he's sitting up there and he calling Lucius names or whatever, and Lucius looking at him like, boy, I'm not scared of you. You not even on my level, basically. And he was like, he gets the bad guys whether they sit next to him or they out on the street. So, you know, next thing you know, they back at Brad's office. He's talking to Brad about why he didn't do this and do that with Marcy and all this other stuff. Brad says that he don't want to be on the wrong side of the law. You know what I mean? He's not that type of person. And in the meanwhile, back at the Burger Fast, here comes the goons, Quan and the goons come in there and sit there and was looking at Joey, you know, staking out the place, waiting. So Joey goes over there and tells Quan and them to go ahead and get up out of there, man. What do you want? He was like, nothing. He was like, man, and here comes Jackie from behind. She was like, Joey, what's going on? She was like, Joey gonna say, well, they was just leaving. She was like, it don't look like they leaving. She was like, I'm about to call the police. He was, and then Quan was like, yeah, go on, call the police and make sure Lucius come. And Joey was like, nah, don't do that, because he's up to something. I'm watching him. She was like, I don't care. I'm about to call the police. Y'all need to get up out of here. And they ain't leaving. They steady sitting there. So she said, I'm about to go call your mama. So she calls Natalie, and Natalie is on her way. So they get a call. You know, Lucius and Eddie get a call that, you know, they got something going on at the Burger Fest. So Lucius coming there to get Eddie. And Eddie was like, I'm talking. He was like, man, come on, we got a call right now. He was like, and I'm still talking. He was like, man, if you don't get your ass up now and come on, you gon' get let. He was like, all right, well, he told Brad he got to go, but he want to see some pictures of that sweet ass later on, do something, because I know you ain't still worried about Alex, and she cheated on you. I know I keep scratching my face and stuff, y'all, but it's itching. And I washed it, but it's itching. I got problems. And so they gets up and they leaving. So Natalie gets to the burger place and tells Quan and the gang that they got to go. And she was telling him, look, boy, if your mama knew what you was doing, she'd be rolling over in her grave. And he said, you say one more thing about my mama, and you gonna be rolling over in your grave. So Joey hems that nigga up. Do you hear me? I mean, quickly. So they trying to defuse the situation. And meanwhile, Lucius and Eddie is pulling up to the burger joint. Now, you already know what they got going on. Since Quan couldn't kill Eddie, he got somebody else that would. So, as they trying to defuse the situation, they're getting hemmed up. Quan, you know, they let go and everything. He was like, we'll leave. Then in the midst of that, Eddie and them is getting out the car. They about to walk to the door. Soon as they get into the door, you know, one of the goons see the people outside, so he whistles. So the goons all jumped on the floor, including Quan. And so everybody's looking like, what's going on? And next thing you know, all we see is a car riding past, about to spray the place with bullets. And that is the end of If Loving You Was Wrong, Season 2, Episode 8, The Debt. And that'll be all.